The Four Harmonious Friends. Once upon a time, deep in a lush forest in the foothills of the Himalayas, there stood a magnificent banyan tree loaded with golden fruit. Under the shade of this tree lived four animals: a partridge, a rabbit, a monkey, and an elephant. For years the four lived together, but they were often at odds. They would argue about who had the right to the delicious fruit of the tree, and more importantly, who was the senior among them that deserved the most respect. One day, their argument reached a peak. To settle the dispute, they decided to determine who was the oldest by testing their memory of the banyan tree. The test of age. The elephant spoke first, his voice rumbling like thunder. "When I was a baby," he said, "this tree was the same size as me. I used to rub my itching skin against its tender top leaves. Therefore I have known it a long time." The monkey chirped up next. "That is nothing. When I was a baby, this tree was just a small sapling. I used to jump over it without even stretching my legs. I am older than the elephant." The rabbit twitched his nose and said, "When I was a baby, this tree was merely a tiny shoot with 2 leaves. I used to lick the dew off those leaves every morning. I am older than the monkey." Finally, the partridge flapped her wings and settled on a rock. "Friends," she said softly, "years ago there was no tree here at all. I ate a fruit from a distant forest and flew here. I dropped the seed that grew into this very tree. Without me there would be no tree." The realization. The 3 larger animals fell silent, their eyes wide with realization. The tiny bird whom they had often ignored was actually the eldest and the reason their home existed. They understood that strength and size did not equal seniority or wisdom. The formation. To reach the fruit and show their new respect for one another, they decided to work together. They formed a pyramid, the strong elephant at the bottom, the agile monkey on his back, the light-footed rabbit on the monkey's shoulders, and finally, the partridge on the rabbit's head. Working together, the bird plucked the fruit and passed it down to the rabbit, who gave it to the monkey, who gave it to the elephant. Every animal was fed, and the forest became known as a land of peace and harmony.